Key assignment by Isha Baraza. Module 1. History of Community Colleges. In the history of community colleges, we learn about the 4 generations of the growth of community college. During the first generation, we see that community colleges were created for a place for high school graduates to continue their education, and thus junior colleges were created for that. And in the second generation, we see that the GI Bill was created to assist with the cost of tuition and books and supplies for those to continue their education. And along with that, we also see more support from the Truman Commission, where it was more for all students, regardless of their background, to get opportunities for higher education, even to the point where they were able to go at no cost at all. And in the third generation, we get a little more federal support through grants and loans to pay for higher education. And then we also see some vocational schools being created, and also during the third generation, we see an increase in women enrollment during that time, more than men. In the fourth generation, as enrollment grows, so do community colleges, and we continue to see a trend in women going to community college than men. For the 4 generations, although there was an increase in women enrolled, we did see grants and aid programs, vocational schools, and colleges available so that everyone had an environment to go to learn and go beyond the K-12 learning environment. The 5th generation is tasked with technology integration in the higher education level than ever before. So this is what we will be seeing in the future when we talk about this in the next generation of community colleges. Part 2 of Module 1, we talk about the shortfall of community college expectations. So during those generations, we see that many students, although enrollment was increasing, we do see that many students were entering colleges and they were unprepared for the rigor of college. And we saw this through their performance on college entrance exams and their placement in remedial courses. And they either did not continue their college plan at all, or their 2-year plan turned into a 6-year plan. And in topic 3 of Module 1, the governance. So in Arizona, the public education governance consists of 3 systems: the Arizona Board of Regents, the local district governing boards, and the state board of education. So we will look into this a bit further. The Arizona Board of Regents is at the university level. In Arizona, we have 3 main universities, NAU, ASU, and U of A. And the governance consists of 12 members: the superintendent of public instruction, the governor himself, and then although this position didn't always wasn't always open, We have 2 student regions that take up the governance. The job of the Arizona Board of Regents is to discuss policy guidance, financial aid, tuition, legal affairs, and outreach. Next, we have the local district governing boards. Arizona is made up of 10 community college districts. Originally, the community colleges were under the state board of governance, but the vote took that power away from the state board and put them under the local governing board. So the governing board is made up of 5 to 9 members, and they hold monthly meetings, which you are able to attend. They are open to the public. There are agendas. The reason they are open to the public is because they cover topics that are related to tuition enrollment, which may affect students and their families. The last system is the State Board of Education. Under the State Board of Education, we have the Arizona Department of Education and the local school boards. The Arizona Department of Education have many requirements for educators and institutions across Arizona, including certification, curriculum, and standards assessments. This also includes the expectations for charter schools in Arizona. The local school boards are in charge of policies, enrollment, amongst other things for elementary schools, K-8 schools, K-12 districts, and alternatives. In Module 2, we talk about attendees, who regulates community colleges, and how students pay for school. Who attends community colleges? We see everyone in community colleges. Recent high school graduates, adult learners seeking GED studies, vocational technical studies, transfer students, out-of-state students, any type of students that would fall into these. Also include students who work either full-time or part-time. And with this wide range of students, it is the job of community colleges to offer a wide range of support systems to the diverse group of learners. Who regulates community colleges? Community colleges, again, we just discussed this, are under local and federal regulation. They receive federal funds in forms of financial aid and through programs like occupational ones. How do students pay for school? Students pay for school in many different ways. There's been discussion on they work part-time or full-time, but it also takes a toll on their academic, social, or home life. Students take out student loans, which puts them in some debt to a point where they can't get out of it. Other options are grants and scholarships or work study programs, which we'll discuss later. We'll move forward to Module 3. Faculty requirements in community colleges, occupational requirements, and then employment issues we see in community colleges. Some faculty requirements are a master's degree in the teaching field, a master's in teaching field with 18 graduate semester hours in that field, a master's in teaching with 24 upper division and or graduate semester hours in teaching, and then EDU 250 teaching and learning course. And it says that the requirement, and this was for Maricopa Community College, was to be completed within 2 years of the hire date. For occupational requirements, all those requirements just listed are similar, or they also the candidate could have a bachelor's degree plus 3 years work experience in that same field, or an associate's degree or 64 semester hours and 5 years work experience in the field, or 5 years work experience in the field to be taught. Some issues with employment in the community colleges are there's more trends in part-time employees and non-contract employees than there are contract employees. Uh, so this is a problem because, as reported by the American Association of University uh, Professions, there's not as many qualified professionals teaching college level courses currently in the community college setting. We will move on to Module 4. We will talk about funding and federal grants. Funding for community colleges in Arizona is divided by several areas. The area community colleges benefit from the most are property tax levies. The estimated percentage of funding from tax levies is around 50%, as reported by the Arizona Revised Statutes. The other areas are state aid, fund balances, which are investments, loan funds, and endowments. Another area is labeled as other, which are grants and contracts. And the fifth area are fees and tuition, which are from out-of-state students. Federal grants. The U.S. Department of Education provides a area for grants for community college students through the Office of Career, Technical, and Adult Education. There are lots of grants listed under this site. Some that were listed that I found were Native American and Alaskan Natives, Pell Grants, Teach Grants. Be careful though, although they are great alternatives to loans, they come with their own terms. So just like anything, it's important to understand those terms before accepting the grant. Some grants turn into subsidized or unsubsidized loans that could end up with high interest rates. And in Module 5, we discussed accreditation, curriculum, and transfer guidelines. So in order for a community college to meet accreditation, the criterion is set by the Higher Learning Commission, and institutions need to keep their status. If they don't meet certain areas, they are given a time period to make necessary changes so they don't lose their accreditation. There are 5 areas. So in criteria 1 is the mission statement. Criteria 2 is their integrity, ethical, and responsible conduct. Criteria 3, teaching and learning, quality, resource, and support. Criteria 4, teaching and learning, evaluation and improvement. Criteria 5, institutional effectiveness, resources, and planning.